just because he's a theater critic. Why, somebody has to do those things. Goodbye.
Did you just have tea? Isn't it rather late?
Oh, yes, and dinner is going to be late too.
So, why?
Oh, Teddy, good news for you. You're going to Panama and dig another lot for the canal.
Delighted! That's bully. Just bully. I shall prepare it once for the journal.
Oh, Abby, while I was out.
Oh, yes, dear, I just couldn't wait for you. Well, I didn't know when you'd be back, and Dr. Harper was coming.
What, all by yourself?
Oh, I got along fine.
I'll run right downstairs and see.
Oh, no, dear. There wasn't time, and I was all alone.
Well,
Martha, just look in the window seat. Oh, it's Elaine.
Oh, good afternoon, Miss Martha. Good afternoon, Miss Abby. I thought Father was here.
He just this minute left. Didn't you meet him?
No, I took the shortcut through the cemetery. Mortimer hasn't come yet?
Oh, no, dear.
Oh, well, he asked me to meet him here. Do you mind if I wait?
Oh, not at all.
Why don't you sit down, dear?
You really must speak to Mortimer about doing this to you.
Doing what?
Well, he was brought up to know better. When a gentleman is taking a young lady out, you should call for her at her house.
Oh, there's something about calling for a girl at a parsonage that discourages any man who doesn't embroider.
Well, he's done this too often. We're going to speak to him.
Oh, no, please don't. After a young man whose idea of nightlife was to take me to prayer meeting, it's wonderful to go to the theater almost every night of my life.
Well, it's comforting for us too, dear, because if Mortimer has to see some of those plays he has to see, at least he's sitting next to a minister's daughter.
Elaine, what must you think of us? Not having tea cleared away by this time.
Oh, don't bother with anything until Mortimer gets here, and then I'll help you. Mortimer should be here any minute now.
Yes. Father must have been surprised not to find me at home. I'd better run home and say goodnight to
Oh,
him.
it's a shame you missed him, dear.
Well, if Mortimer comes, you tell him I'll be right back, all right? Oh, hello, Mort.
Hello, Elaine. Hello, Aunt Martha.
Abby, Mortimer's here.
Are you going somewhere?
Yes, I was just running home to talk to Father and tell him not to wait up for me tonight.
Well, no, I didn't think that was still being done anymore, even in Brooklyn.
Hello, Mortimer.
Hello there, Aunt Abby.
Oh, how are you, dear?
Well, I'm all right. You look well. You haven't changed much since yesterday.
Oh, my. Oh, it was yesterday, wasn't it? We're seeing a great deal of you lately. Come, dear. Sit down. Oh, sit down.
Abby, haven't we something to do in the kitchen?
What?
You know, the tea things.
Oh, yes, the tea things. Well, now, you two just make yourselves at home. Just
Make yourselves at home.
Well, can't you take a hint?
No, I can't. That was too obvious. A general lack of inventiveness, I should say.
Yes, that's exactly what you'd say.
Well, where do you want to go for dinner?
Oh, I don't mind. I'm not really very hungry.
Well, I just had breakfast. Can we wait till after the show?
Oh, but won't that make it pretty late?
Not with the stinker we're seeing tonight. From what I've heard, we'll be at Blake's by 10 o'clock.
You ought to be fair to these plays.
Oh, are these plays fair to me?
Oh, Mortimer, I was hoping it was a musical. I've never seen you walk out on a musical.
You have such a light mind.
Not a bit. Musicals somehow have a humanizing effect on you. join the proletariat in the subway, and I listen to a lecture on the drama. After a musical, you bring me home in a taxi, and you make a few passes.
Now, wait a minute, Elaine. That's a very inaccurate piece of reporting.
Oh, I will admit that after the Berman play, you told me I had authentic beauty. And that's a hell of a thing to say to a girl. But it wasn't until after our first musical that you told me I have nice legs. And I have, too.
For a minister's daughter, you know a lot about life. Where'd you learn?
In the choir loft.
Remind me to tell you about that sometime, dear. The close connection between eroticism and religion.
Religion never gets as high as the choir loft. Oh, which reminds me, I have to run home and tell Father not to wait up for me tonight.
Now, I've never been able to rationalize it.
What?
My falling in love with a girl who lives in Brooklyn.
Falling in love? You're not stooping to be articulate, are you?
Well, the only way I can regain my self-respect is to keep you in New York.
Ooh, did you say keep?
No, I've come to the conclusion that you're holding out for the legalities.
I can afford to be a good girl for quite a few years
Yes,
yet.
I can't afford to wait that long. We could be married in a hurry. Tonight?
Oh, I'm afraid Father will insist on officiating.
Oh, I bet your father could make even the marriage service sound pedestrian.
Are you by any chance writing a review of it?
Well, forgive me, dear. It is an occupational disease. I just may give that play tonight a good notice.
Oh, now, darling, don't pretend you love me that much.
Well, be sure to tell your father not to wait up tonight.
I think tonight I better tell him to wait up.
Oh, really? Well, I'll telephone Mitchell to publish the beds.
Nevertheless...
All right, we'll do everything formal and legal, but no later than next month.
Oh, darling! I'll talk it over with Father and set the date.
Oh, no, wait, we'll have to see what's in rehearsal first. There are a lot of first nights in October.
Hello, Mortimer.
How are you, Mr. President?
Bully, thank you. Just bully. What news have you brought me?
Just this, sir. The country is squarely behind you.
Yes, I know. Isn't it wonderful? Well, goodbye. Goodbye.
Where are you off to, Teddy?
Panama. Panama's the cellar. He digs locks for the canal down there.
You're so sweet with him. And he's very fond of you.
Well, Teddy always was my favorite brother.
Favorite? Were there more of you?
Well, there was one more. Jonathan.
I never heard of him. Your aunts never mentioned him.
No, we don't like to talk about Jonathan. He left Brooklyn very early by request. He was the type that liked to cut worms in two with his teeth.
Ooh. What became of him?
No, I don't really know. He wanted to be a surgeon like grandfather, but he just wouldn't go to medical school. And I guess his practice got him into trouble.
Aren't you two going to be late for the theater?
Oh, actually, no. We're going to leave for a half hour, so, because we're skipping dinner.
Oh, well, in that case, I'll leave you alone together again.
Oh, no, don't bother, darling. Before I go home, I have to speak with Father. Every time I go out with Mortimer, he likes to pray over me a little. I'll be right back. I'll go through the cemetery.
If the prayer isn't too long, I'd have time to lead you beside distilled waters.
Mortimer, that is the first time I've heard you quote from the Bible. We knew Elaine would be a good influence for you.
Oh, by the way, I'm going to marry her.
What?
Yes.
Oh, darling. Martha, come quickly. Oh, I have wonderful news. Mortimer and Elaine are going to be married. Oh, Mortimer. We hoped it would happen just like this.
Oh, Elaine must be the happiest girl in the world.
Happy? Why, just look at her. Leaping over those gravestones. Say, what is that?
That's what, dear?
On that statue there, that's a Hirondinida carnina.
Oh, no, dear, that's Emma B. Stout ascending to heaven.
Oh, no, on Mrs. Stout's left ear, that red-crested swallow. I've only seen one of those before in my life.
Oh, I don't know how you can be thinking about a bird.